is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit.
Quinson Valentino is not a very liked man here in the Pure Wrestling Association, but he is a very respected man. This gentleman travels the globe wrestling every single weekend. If you do not see him here in the PWA, he is in Wisconsin, he is in Illinois, he is making his rounds, and he is definitely trying to become a top contender for the Pure Wrestling Championship. Last week we seen Quinson take on Mr. Scott Chase. We'll get back to that in just one moment. And Mark C. about to introduce his opponent here.
And his opponent, weighing in at 222 pounds, all the way from Toronto, Ontario, Mike Stevens.
And his opponent tonight is going to be none other than Mike Stevens. Oh, it looks like the little bit of a music problem for Mr. David here. But here he comes, Mike Stevens coming out. He wants to show the new school of wrestling is definitely here and here to stay. Quinson Valentino last week fought Scott Chase in Scott Chase's retirement match, and it was all over for Mr. Scott Chase after the match, but he would not leave with a victory as Quinson Valentino took the win.
This should be a good match. You're right with the Quinson Valentino, but just wondering what Mike Stevens there is going to pull off.
What is he signing autographs?
I don't know what Mike Stevens is doing. The new school, Mike Stevens, along with Michael Elgin, have made for some very interesting tag team matchups. They are fast, they are furious, and they really want another crack at the goal. But right now, we see Mike Stevens go one-on-one with the future, the franchise, and the phenomenon, Mr. Quinson Valentino.
Oh, well, it's Baldy Locks versus, Browndy Locks.
That's the first thing I can notice. I haven't seen moves yet. That was the first revelation I had looking into that ring.
True enough, but Mike Stevens is already playing mind games right now by getting the crowd turned against Quinson Valentino. Quinson does not need the crowd, but he does not enjoy the crowd making fun of him. Quinson Valentino is a man who demands respect, and if Mike Stevens doesn't show it tonight, I'm sure he'll get quite the beating.
That's for sure. Oh, here he comes, look it. There we go, the crowd's going for Mike Stevens again. Quinson getting nothing. Oh, he's pissed off about that, Quinson.
Maybe that side just cheers louder, who knows, I don't know. Mike Stevens, Quinson Valentino circling up. And a huge lockup. Both men throwing all their weight into that one. And a nice, quick arm wrench by Mike Stevens. He's holding it. This is an absolutely painful maneuver, but once again, it will not win a match, but it'll help win a match. He'll wear him down. Mike Stevens is being smart, though. Every time Quinson balls his fist up to punch him, he wrenches it again. Really shooting the pain down into the, chest of Quinson Valentino. Russian leg sweep right there by Quinson Valentino, proving that he is a very smart wrestler. A leg sweep. He maybe was too confident right there. Nice arm drag by Mike Stevens, who is now back on top, holding that arm deep. Quinson Valentino complaining that Mike Stevens is grabbing the tights.
I didn't see any tight pulling myself. Paul didn't call it at all. But, here it's back to the arm wrench. Just working it over.
That's a smart tactic, perhaps, by Mike Stevens. If he keeps on that arm the whole match, he might be able to sink in some kind of submission move or maybe disable Quinson Valentino from using a power move. But right now it's just wear and tear. They're just feeling each other out. Quinson's doing the exact same thing back to him, asking him, how do you like it now?
Well, one thing Mike Stevens has on Quinson Valentino, those two arm wrenches he's done, he's held it for a lot longer than Quinson. Quinson put into this first one and went straight into that Russian sweep, not putting a lot of pressure on that arm at first.
Quinson Valentino, he's got him in a stretch here. He's holding him. Oh, but Mike Stevens is firing back, hitting him in the midsection. Oh, and a very nice leg sweep by Quinson Valentino, and Mike Stevens is down on the ground again. He's holding his head, but you can see his arms is definitely sore. Oh, a kick up by Mike Stevens, knocking Quinson Valentino down. Quinson, oh, takes an arm drag, and he is on the ground. He is complaining again. He's like, why? Why has he got to grab my tights? And Paul Wright is continually telling him that no, there is no tight grabbing. No tight grabbing at all. Quinson Valentino, very vocal. He'll tell you when he doesn't like something, and he does not like that armbar.
No, he does not like that at all. You can see it right in his face, a squints of pain as he plans how to get out of it like he did just right now. Look at that. Oh, right into a headlock. Oh, they're up into the ropes. Throws him.
Big tackle by Quinson Valentino, but he may have taken too long to pose. Drop down by Mike Stevens. Stevens goes for that arm drag again. And another arm drag. Quinson Valentino has got to be frustrated. 3 arm drags in a row, and Quinson is bailing out of the ring. He's taking a little bit of a timeout. Mike Stevens is on top again, using his speed to his advantage, using the crowd to his advantage. But Quinson Valentino slowing things down, taking a quick breather, gaining his air. And that's just smart.
I have to admit, it is a genius plan. It shows that you really actually are in control of the match. Gets you some time to get your heart rate back down so it doesn't blow out of your chest. And it just shows, once again, as I said earlier, you're in control.
Mike Stevens making Chase Quinson bailing off, and he's begging. He's saying, no more. He's asking for a timeout. But Mark, is there any timeouts in wrestling?
Never.
And just like Quinson got 2 shots right to the face, he's going for the 10 punch.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10!
And 10 big punches by Mike Stevens right to the noggin of Mr. Quinson Valentino. Stevens goes for a whip reverse. Oh, and a planted DDT. Mike Stevens landed right on his head, and you can see he's hurting. He's covering up big time. And when you cover up a wound like that, you just give Quinson Valentino a target.
That was an amazing move he just did. Did you see Mike Stevens' feet just shoot up into the air? I have not seen a pound into the mat like that in a while.
He really snapped that DDT down, driving Mike Stevens' head into the ground. Stevens is trying to fight off, but I don't think he's all there. I think he's a little disoriented from that devastating DDT. Stevens is trying to fight back, but Quinson just too much. Hooks him up, belly back, suplex. Oh, and folds him up like an accordion. Mike Stevens is down. Paul Wright checking out, making sure everything's good. 1, 2. He was right on top of that count. He was right on top of it. Paul Wright, for the scumbag he is really quite the official.
He is fair, I have to admit. He doesn't hold it against the other wrestlers. He knows he has a job to do, and he does it.
Mike Stevens firing back with those left hands, bailing back to the corners. Quinson Valentino, oh, and bailing downstairs with a, I don't know if you call it illegal because he didn't get disqualified, but shot to the lower midsection, I guess you would call it. And then a back rake. Quinson Valentino back in control of this match, working that lower lumbar region, driving his elbows in, forcing Mike Stevens to use more air. Stevens whipped off the ropes. Quinson Valentino drops him with a big back elbow and then takes his second up pose down.
Oh, Mike Stevens looks laid right out right now. Quinson Valentino being real cocky there, and it didn't pay off. He's pissed off. Mike Stevens still down, can kick out, but it still hasn't gotten up.
Stevens down with a snapmare, and the future, the phenomenon, Quinson Valentino is going after that neck. He's holding him down. The fans here is trying to rally Mike Stevens behind him. He's still going hard. The crowd really wants him to win. Quinson is getting pissed off here. Mike Stevens, you can see, he's firing up. His arms are moving. He's getting a little hot. He's getting a little bothered. Elbows. 2 elbows. 3 elbows. The hold's broken. Oh, and Quinson Valentino uses, as you called earlier, that hair to his advantage and rips him down.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to do what you got to do. It's always about the W. But you shouldn't be hanging on that hair like that. That is definitely against the rules.
And he pulls him back down into that sleeper. The fans, are they going to get behind him again? I don't know. And here we go. The fans are once again rallying behind Mike Stevens. Stevens, he's fighting through everything. All this pain. He's fighting up. 1 elbow. 2 elbows. 3 elbows. Oh, and another knee. Quinson Valentino whips Mike Stevens to the corner. Stevens takes his corner very hard. Charge in by Quinson. And a boot up by Mr. Mike Stevens. Stevens comes at him again. Oh, and a back elbow. Quinson's on the reel right now. Mike Stevens goes for it. Oh, a drop toe hold right back up into that face. Both men are down. Quinson Valentino is reeling from that back elbow and that foot just moments earlier. But he's back up on all fours.
Yeah, Quinson Valentino's working hard in there. You can just see the glistening of the sweat pouring down him. Mike Stevens is just putting him through the rings here just to try and get this W today.
And why not? That's what it's all about. Oh, he's blasting with those fists and gouging his eyes with 3 fingers, I think. 3 fingers, not even 2. All 3.
I didn't even think the eye socket was large enough for that many fingers, but I have definitely learned something today.
Quinson Valentino, not only a wrestler, but a teacher. Valentino picks him up for a big body slam, and he slams Mike Stevens right down to the ground. Stevens, oh, he avoided the elbow drop. But he may not have avoided the knee. Oh, he avoided the knee. Quinson Valentino cannot get lucky. Elbow drop again. Oh, Stevens all the way to the other side, avoiding maneuvers. Quinson Valentino is reeling. He's hurting there. Going for a shoulder. Mike Stevens catches him there. Slides underneath. Goes for it. Nope. Big whip. Mike Stevens. Quinson off the ropes. 1 clothesline by Mike Stevens. He's holding that arm. Oh. Big back elbow. Stevens, he's on fire right now. What's he going for? Big body slam slipped by Quinson Valentino. He hooks him up. Uh-oh, this could be it. If he hits it, the neck breaker, it's all over. Stevens, oh, Stevens with a DDT. And now Mr. Quinson Valentino is on his back.
Yeah, no kidding. Stevens should be definitely going in there, but he was doing that dodging. I was wondering if that was just skill or just last-second breath instinct just to dodge those elbows and knees.
I think you called it right. It was just instinct. When you're in the middle of the ring and you're back, you gotta roll. Mike Stevens going up for that big elbow drop. Here in Jay's place, we know the ceiling is not too accommodating to the high flyers, but he's up there anyway. Stevens drives an elbow from across the ring. He hit that elbow. It's all over, folks. Oh, and a 2 count, a very long 2 count. I thought it was over. I thought Mike Stevens had secured a win.
I thought so too. He went from one corner to the other corner to drop that elbow on Quinson. I'd be out. I'd be laid on my back forever.
Stevens went for a whip reverse. Oh, and a nice spine buster by Quinson Valentino. Both men are down. Both men are reeling. Both men are hurt. And one man has to make a cover. There it is, Quinson. And it's, oh, no. Mike Stevens kicks out again, showing some heart on his own side.
Man, this is one evenly set up match. Holy cow. These 2 wrestlers came out and give it their all.
And the crowd is really behind Mike Stevens. I'm pretty shocked in this. He is the new school, and he is against the man they don't like too much, Quinson Valentino. And Quinson and Mike Stevens now trading fists. I don't know. Paul Ray's trying to give him a little leeway here.
He seems the hair is probably not the biggest thing. He should probably work on calling those eye gouges a little bit more often.
Mike Stevens going for an O'Connor roll. Shot up. Oh, there it is. Quinson Valentino going for a pin. His feet are all over the ropes, and Paul Wright did not even see it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll let Mark do the rest here.